Live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, good evening, and welcome to my Tirreno Adriatico preview. I am joined by Tiesj Benoot. Unfortunately, just audio today because Wi-Fi problems in Italy. Tiesj, how are you getting on?
I'm fine. Some rest after the start of the hockey was welcome, and now I'm ready for the start of Tirreno Adriatico tomorrow.
Now, before we get started, we have to quickly go back and talk about Saturday. You've obviously done quite a lot of press things since that point. I don't want to bore you with the same kind of typical questions. We'll go to that point where you attacked and left Peter Seri and bridged across to the front two. I think the gap was 40 seconds. How confident were you of making that gap up?
I was not. I was feeling really strong. I was also feeling stronger than Seri. So I was thinking to do something on the next section, but for sure I didn't know I would close up it so fast, and I just felt the moment I went, and I saw us coming closer really fast, and then I knew that I could bridge it up quite fast. And I knew also this section really well, so was 2 point and a little bit long. So was the last moment. I think there was not a disadvantage to be alone against two guys, and there I gave it a try. I was really fast. I could close the gap.
Then when you closed over, you only had about 3 kilometres. I was going to say rest, it wasn't rest, but you only had a very short recovery time, and then you attacked again on the final section. Were you kind of keen? Were you keen to get rid of them on that final steep climb?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wanted to be sure, and also actually when I bridged up, I never felt really a block. So it's like a long effort. This race is like a long effort, so you never go super deep, but you always have like, I would say like a steady feeling in the legs, I would say like, and I closed up the gap, and then I say, I'm actually feeling still pretty well. So I turned 2 times. I tried to look not too fresh, I would say. I was not looking fresh, but I wanted to let the others think that I was also fatigued. And then the last steep Sterato section was really good moment to take 10 seconds, and then on top I knew actually I wasn't strong, but that was a case of making not too much errors anymore, no bad luck, and then was a nice finish into Siena.
Yeah, so you have the rare chance of riding up the Piazza, knowing you're going to win. That must have been an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's really a unique feeling. Also the people on the last climb and the last streets, really amazing. And yeah, it's one of the best feelings. I think the best feeling you can have as a cyclist, and one of the best feelings I felt before. Yeah.
I heard you talk about the pressure that the kind of home media put on you after coming 5th in Flanders a few years ago. The pressure to win. You always seemed quite calm to me. The fact that you always seemed quite confident the win would come. Were you ever worried, or did you just always feel quite kind of calm about this?
Well, I always believed in myself. I was not. Yeah, I really stressed myself. I would say it's just it doesn't have to take too long, because every time it takes longer, you start to hesitate a tiny little bit more. I knew it was possible, but in the end, it still has to happen. So now it happened. I knew it was possible. Now it happened. So now it's a pressure who's falling off. Where I could drop off now, I would say. Yeah, but it's normal in Belgium. They already start crazy when I was 5th in Flanders. Now they are getting even more crazy. They think I will dominate the classic. So I'm actually, it was good now what I experienced 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and knew what to expect now, and well, it's not different. It's even worse actually. So, but I think I'm used to it now. So yeah.
So
I feel confident to handle this.
Yeah, all of this comes after your debut Tour de France. Now we hear a lot about riders who have their first experience of a Grand Tour and feel the benefits of it the next season. Is there something that you noticed over the winter that suggested you were maybe stronger than previous years?
Yes, for sure. My best effort test was really a lot better. You feel also the difference on training. You not like in the short efforts, but in the longer efforts, you don't get so fast tired anymore. And I think this is also a point. They say when is the first win coming, but I'm actually almost doing only big races, and it was only my first Grand Tour last year, so there was no point to stress actually. So, but it's normal. The expectations are there. It's also a good sign. So, yeah, I think the first Grand Tour has made a big difference. I also felt stronger the weeks after this Tour de France. So, I really got out stronger than I started it. So, I think it's also just 1 year older, 1 year stronger.
Looking at your preparation for the race, you went to altitude after San Juan. You know, you spend a lot of time in Granada, climbing in the mountains there. A lot of riders get bored, I suppose, when they're at altitude. Is it something that you quite enjoy?
I really enjoy it. I'm actually now building a house at home, so there's no point of being at home now. So I don't care to be away, and I like to be in the mountains. I like the atmosphere there, the nature. The roads are better to train in Belgium. The less traffic. The roads are really nice. You have better temperatures, less rain. And also, my girlfriend was there in the first part. My father came in the second part to ride with the scooter. So I was not bored or feeling alone there, not at all.
And away from cycling, how's university?
Good. I did an exam last Tuesday. I did an exam on enterprise psychology, and I think I succeeded. I still have to get my points, but we'll see. And then I do 2 more courses this year, and then I have my bachelor degree.
Fantastic.
And I'm doing applied economics, and in Belgium it's 1 year for a master degree. So I think I will do this also, and then it's finished.
Do you think it's kind of healthy for you to have something else to focus on away from cycling?
I think it's good, yeah, because I was on Sierra Nevada, and if you don't have something to do there, only riding your bike and resting, then I think or I would maybe start thinking about stupid things where you don't have to think about, and then you get worried about things. But now you just focus on something different. That's also important. And yeah, for me, it just helps to focus on something different and not only on cycling. And I get it. Last year I had it also, that I did an exam just before Dauphiné, and I studied also on Sierra Nevada, and that was also really strong the period after, and Dauphiné and the Tour. So now it's actually the same, exactly the same thing that happened. Yeah.
So you're going to have to keep studying for the rest of your cycling career.
No. After my studies, there will other things come to get busy with.
After Tirreno, obviously we go back to focusing on the classics. There was a big discussion between cycling fans after your impressive Tour de France and Dauphiné performances about whether you would leave the classics behind and start to focus on stage races. Was that even a real consideration this winter, or were you always going to stay with the classics?
It was not a consideration to focus on Grand Tours already this year. but I had some good, I would say, talks with my trainer and team, and we agreed to let's say the next 2 years do a different classics and also shorter stage races to see where I can get. And then I'm 25 years old after 19, and then make a real decision what to do after, and to really focus on one specific thing in cycling. But on this moment, I'm still 23 years old. I get 24 on Sunday, so I have some time to see where my limits are, and have some time to try some things out and make the good decision in the end. I think it's better to take a good decision at 25 years old than to take a wrong decision at 24, 23 years old. So this is a thing we discussed really well, and at this moment I will not go for a GC and a Grand Tour. I will keep going for the classics, and then in stage races I can see where my limits are without pressure.
And we have, you're not doing Milan-San Remo, you're not doing Paris-Roubaix. What was the thought behind, particularly Paris-Roubaix, not riding there?
I did it twice. I had twice bad luck, so maybe it's not a really good influencer, but I had, last year I did first time Amstel Gold Race without doing Roubaix, and I was strong in Brabantse-Pijl and Amstel Gold Race, so in the end, it seemed like a good decision to skip Roubaix and go training a bit in the Ardennes, a bit uphill training, and then coming back stronger for these races. And on the Amstel Gold Race, I still felt strong. So we were thinking this year to try also Liège, and then I think to be good from, like, let's say last weekend or 2 weeks ago till Liège, you need to, in my case, I don't need too much races, and rest enough, train enough between the races to recover and to set up everything up again. So we agreed on skipping the races who suits me less, and I think these races are San Remo and Roubaix. So yeah, it's a decision, and choosing something is always losing, we say in Belgium. So in this case, it's Roubaix and San Remo. We're not there on our program this year. Yeah.
And you mentioned Liège. You go there for the first time. However, as an under-23, you finished, I think it was 5th and 8th potentially there previously.
Yeah.
Is it a race that kind of excites you the way it does everybody else?
What do you say? It's a race that can excite me, or?
Yeah. Do you get excited about, it's a monument?
Yeah, for sure. It's a big race. For sure, I want to do good in Liège. For a Flemish rider who lives in the Flemish Ardennes, Tour of Flanders is something bigger. But I think in professional cycling also you just have to aim for the highest results and not for the races you like. There's no clue about a sprinter going for a mountain stage because he likes mountain stages. He has to go for a sprint. So yeah, I will do Liège with a big motivation. In the 23 categories, it was always my biggest goal, and now I will be there for the first time again as a professional rider. So I'm really looking forward to something new.
I had a look through your under-23 results today, and like that time in Liège, you're riding against Michael Valgren and Jasper Stuyven and Edward Towns, who are all older than you by 2-3 years. How difficult was that, racing in under-23s and being 2-3 years younger than your rivals?
I really made a big step forward when I came in the under-23 category. As first year under-23, I was immediately on a high level. I think I was the first rider to do both European and World Championships for the national team. As first year under-23, with the coach from that moment, he told me. He was 8 or 9 years national coach, was I was the first rider to do this, so made a big step forward, and the years after also. So yeah, it just felt nice to be a younger rider without pressure and competing with all the riders on the biggest under 23 races. Was just a nice feeling, but a nice feeling, but the same feeling as competing as a near professional against the big stars of cycling.
Yeah, and I find it amazing. You're 24 next week, and this is the start of your 4th season at World Tour. Yeah, that's you've got so much racing compared to people who are older than you.
Yeah, that's what people also said before. Maybe it's too early to get professional, or it's not good to do so many big races or World Tour races. But I would say, yeah, if it doesn't help me now, it helps me later. It's experience. You cannot buy. So yeah, in the end, I'm still happy about this decision to be only 2 years under 23. Actually, 1 year and a half, because the second year I was also stagiaire, and I didn't do any under 23 races except of the Worlds and the Europeans from July on. So yeah.
One question about Loop. We had your good friend Edward Toons on last week, and I asked him the question if you dropped him on the climb, and he tried to claim that he just went back to the bunch.
You'll never admit that.
Do you think you dropped him?
For sure.
Looking at Tirreno, do you have your eyes on any of the particular stages?
I think, so first we have team time trial on the first stage is for sprinters, and the second stage looks really nice to me because it's hard in the end, and it's a really long stage. I think it's good preparation for the classics also. This stage I would like to go my chance. The day after is the super hard climbing stage, I think. It looks not 1 meter flat all day long. And there I will see how the feeling is. If I feel strong, I will try my best. If I don't feel strong, I think it's no point about going deep. And the day after, then it's the 5th stage already. I think it's also nice for me. The 4th or 5th, yeah. So the 3rd stage you talked about, I think it finishes with it's about 2 kilometers at 9%, a kind of classical Muir type finish. You mentioned the mountaintop finish. I'm glad you mentioned the challenging stage. It's actually 4,700 meters of climbing in that stage, which it might only be one big mountain, but that is an insane stage. And I think it's harder to going up and down all day than to have let's say 2 big climbs. Yeah, for sure. In the bunch, these are the hardest days, and also the distance is 220k. Day before is 240, so it's 2 days in a row, more than 6 hours, I think, and this will really have an impact on the race.
And as you say, very good practice for the classics coming up. I presume you look at the Tirreno start list this year compared to Paris-Nice, and it seems much stronger. I presume the kind of 2 stages at 230, 240 kilometres is attractive to a rider like yourself who's trying to prepare for the classics?
Yes, maybe, but also when I compare to Paris-Nice, all the GC riders are here, or almost all of them. The big names are here, so yeah, I didn't know it would be like this until I see it now, actually.
Tomorrow is the team time trial. Despite not being the most natural time trialist in the world, you do quite like a team time trial.
Yes, really, the mental thing about it, I really like. We talk about it before the race with the team. In the race, you suffer together, and then everyone has his stories afterwards. So yeah, I really like it. During the race, I don't like it, but just the day is nice.
I remember your ex-colleague Greg Henderson telling me that it's the best team bonding experience is to do a team time trial, and he loved that pain.
Yeah, I totally agree with him. It's exactly like this. One of my best memories as professional cyclist were my first World Championships in Richmond, where I did also the team time trial, and yeah, it was a really nice group with 6. I think it was with Henderson, Lars Bach, Roelands, Wallis, Galopin, and me. And then I forget someone. No, I don't know. So this was really a nice experience, and also when the team atmosphere is there, it's one of the nicest things to do together.
And I suppose the victory on Saturday means you arrive here, no pressure, nobody talking about will you get that first pro win anymore.
Yeah, it's nice. I can look now from day to day. It's a bit different, and yes, less stupid questions.
Well, Tiesj, thank you very much for taking your time out to come on tonight. I would pass on my thanks from everybody watching cycling about your brilliant victory on Saturday. I think it made a lot of people very, very happy, and hopefully you have a good Tirreno.
Yeah, again, sorry for the Wi-Fi problems, but maybe later we see each other again.